Hello everybody. Welcome back to Art and Outdoor Life here with John. So here I'm doing a really fun acrylic painting, and if you're new at acrylics and such, you'll enjoy this video. You feel free to paint along with me, and feel free to change the colors. Okay, this is a basic painting, but it's very exciting. I mean, when I say exciting, it's exciting because of there's a lot of elements I put in this painting. I did this fast and loose. I did this in one take, one painting. It took me about 25 minutes, all in all. I did edit the parts where I was reaching over to grab brushes, that kind of thing. Those parts I didn't leave in. And I did leave in some parts on here where I just wanted you to hear the sound of painting. Okay, this is on stretched canvas. Okay, it was already gessoed. I just found it laying around. So I put orange in, mixed with a little bit of yellow for the sky. A little bit too bright, too dark for my liking. But that is not what this painting is about. Okay, you know I do a lot of watercolor paintings. Okay, so I'm using water here. Water and a napkin. Paper towel are my only mediums. Okay, so here I am. I'm blending some brown. It's a raw umber mixed with a little bit of red. And as you've seen before that, with these brushes I'm using, when I went above the water line, it turned into green. I'm using the same concepts, the same things I do in watercolor, pretty much. Here, paper towel to get a little bit of texture. I have a little bit of water on the side, and my paper towels. And I'm using a disposable palette paper pad. You could buy those very, they're not much money at all. And you don't have to worry about putting them anywhere. When you're done with them, you could throw them away, or you could save them. So here I'm using two kind of blues. The one I used for the water is a lighter blue, and this is a darker blue. And as you know, I love to mix on the paper. In this case, it's stretched canvas. Okay. Acrylics are fun. My understanding of acrylics is they got popular in the 1950s. Okay. They do have plastic elements in them. But other than that, these are water soluble. That means that you can use water to wipe them off and use water to move the paint. You'll like the scene. And if you're new at painting and you've never tried acrylic paints, try this. Try it. Again, this took me about 25 minutes in all. Okay, so in the background here, I'm just putting some blues against, it was an orange and I mixed some yellow together. Okay, and yeah, I'm not very happy with the sky, okay, but that's not the point here. The good thing with acrylics is they do dry fairly quickly, and once they dry, you can go over it again. And if you really don't like your whole painting, you can take some white gesso and completely wipe out the entire painting and go over it again. So I put some trees in there just to get an idea. I'm getting a feeling. By the way, my brushes, they're all synthetic. They're very hard. They're not soft brushes. Okay. Now I'm using here, that color there is like a cream color. And then I'm using a little bit of red here. And see, I'm using a little bit of black here. Now what I'm doing is basically setting up a shoreline with buildings, okay? You know, and like I said, this is off the top of my head. I did something similar to it over a year ago, and I didn't video it. Now, I love using emerald green, but I didn't have any emerald green, okay? So I'm using, it's what they call a green yellow kind of. So here we go. Using paper towel, bringing it down, okay? I do have water on the side, okay, in a little bowl. And sometimes I'm dipping my paint brushes in there, and sometimes I'm not. And I'm doing like I do with watercolors, okay? So, yeah, it's like a lime green here. If you want, you know, for buildings, like along the shoreline, if you want to use any, I mean, choose your own colors, right? If you ever, I don't know, if, whatever, if you ever been, like when I was young, I used to go to the library and there used to be these choose your own adventure books. And you would get to a point in the book, many points in the book, and it would say, which way do you want to go? And you had to make a choice. And then whatever choice you were making, it would tell you, well, then you have to go to, you know, page, whatever, you know. Choose your own adventure. So that's kind of what I'm getting at in this painting. Choose your own colors and make it your adventure. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm getting a little bit of reflection into the water. I mean, we all love reflections, right? And the sky is like a Halloween sky. And, you know, Halloween is around the corner. I didn't plan it that way. Like I said, you can, any color that you want to choose for your sky, go ahead and do it. So I put a little bit of titanium white in here. By the way, I was using a 2-inch brush and a 1-inch brush from the hardware store. And the rest of the brushes are just small. They're very small brushes. You can use them for oil paintings, or you can use them for acrylics. So here I am, I'm just trying to add, using some darks. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of want this to be a little bit, maybe of a rocky edge. A rocky edge, you know, coming off of the side. Okay. And by the way, again, everything is wet. Okay. There's nothing really drying here. Again, these are like watercolors. Okay. And I did this in one sitting. Okay. So I took a paper towel to it and it kind of made it like foggy. So I took a little bit more dark. And just kind of tapping along. I mean, just make it your own. Now, you don't have to put trees in this. You can make mountains in the background, however you want to do it. You don't have to choose those colors. For buildings, you don't even have to have a building in there. Okay?
Can I come across this way?
So, here I'm putting in a little dock, and I'm just using, it's like a brown, green, blue mix.
I can do.
You know, just something to, kind of get the eye, our eyes away from the main setting. Not to confuse anybody. And of course, not to make it perfect. I mean, the whole idea with painting is, when I do these videos, is to give ideas and have fun, right? So, just kind of moving along with this brush here. There's a little dock out here in this little cove. It's like a cove. And barely touching it with the paper towel. You can get these to fade or even smear. Of course, with acrylics, they're going to smear like oils. Okay? And what's going to smear them? Two things. Your brushes will smear it, as well as paper towel, as long as they're wet. And that's because these are water soluble. And we're not painting on paper here. I'm not drying any of this. So, anyways, over here, I'm just putting in some trees in the background. Nothing perfect, just ideas. Okay, trees here, trees there. A little bit of dark, a little bit of blue, dark blue, a little bit of brown. And what it's doing is it's really making that sky pop out. Okay, so now we're really looking at, like a Halloween sky, right? I mean, what we see, during Halloween, everything's orange and black, right? That was not my intention. My intention was to make a contrast between the orange with the yellow and the blue. Okay. And just dabbing here. Be careful when you're dabbing because you gotta have a soft touch to it. So now I sped it up because, as you know, with skies like this, if you want to put clouds in here, and you don't have to, the heavier they are, the top of, the top of your painting they would be, and the more distant clouds are very small and toward the foreground. So I went ahead and I redid these little building structures. I exaggerated them because I wanted to kind of get the point across about if you want to make building structures along this walkway or whatever it is on the shore, you can use whatever colors you want, Of course, it's impressionism, they're not detailed. And that's, all the more fun. And then they were fading a little bit, so I went ahead and I was bringing it back into the water again, swoop it across very gently. Now, when you are, as you see, you can contaminate your paper towel or even a washcloth if you're mixing the colors on the same spot that you're using. So I went over it again, and I was like, okay, maybe some shadows, window type things, something like that. I could have left it as it is. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the sky. I could have fixed it in the very beginning, but I didn't. Now on these shorelines, you can do it a variety of ways, before the reflection into the water. In this case, I was using a blue, but you can also do it with a white, or a neutral colors are the best. Your grays, which are a mixture of a variety of colors. It's got a beautiful sheen coming down into that water, don't you think? Now, I failed to mention, with the water, you could take a brush, dip it in the water, and actually you can get natural white. You can get that white gesso. If you were to wet your brush and then go over your water, like back and forth, you'd get some of that white. Okay. So now I'm coming over with a little bit of white. It's kind of making it a gray. A little bit too, it is a little bit too wide for my liking, but that's not the point. Okay? The point is to give you ideas. Now I will go back and I will fix the sky, which will mean that the clouds will disappear, and I can really detail it. These don't take long to dry. Okay, there's the disposable palette. I only had a few colors on there for the building structures. And now I'm adding a reddish brown kind of mixture to some of the land coming out into the water. And I'm kind of just blending it really nicely, really soft. Even though these bristles are very hard on all of these brushes. The bristles are very hard. I encourage you to try this. I want to thank you for viewing again. And thank you so much for coming back. Sincerely yours, John. Wishing you a wonderful day.